What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. I love Assassin's Creed. At least I did. It's gone steadily downhill, and Assassin's Creed Shadows has been a red flag from the beginning, and it's only gotten worse and worse. I love me some transparency and authenticity, but boy, oh boy, if I was a Ubisoft exec, I would be telling the executive producer to shut the hell up because every time he speaks, he gets himself and everyone else in trouble. We saw the last video we talked about where he basically, in trying to introduce some hopium or copium about how it's been worse before, but that it'll get better, he basically admitted to the fact that at least half of the team has never even worked on an Assassin's Creed. And forget not even working on Assassin's Creed, they've never worked on a game before. This is one of their first professional game, which is fine to bring in a couple newbies, but when most of your team is a junior that doesn't really know what they're doing, oh boy. And and they also think it's the worst thing ever. So that was the last time we heard from him, but he's back. He's back to admit something we all know. They don't know where players are and they don't know how to reach them, i.e., they don't know how to make us happy, clearly. And he admitted as much. So he was asked about external development and how that will affect Ubisoft in the next 3 to 5 years. He responded, I think we're in an era of peak change, and he's already talked about wanting to change the Assassin's Creed and the formula going forward. So he believes they're in that, and to do it for his ideology reasons, to change the world based on changing people through video games. I think we're in an era of peak change. I don't know what the industry is going to look like in 5 years, but clearly we're transforming. It's going to be smaller, more contracted, just like the Hollywood industry. Smaller, more contracted, with people spending less money, and the things that do come out are going to have to prove that they're worth it. I think it can create anxiety. I see it as a challenge that we need to solve together, because whether it's in the AAA or even in the more indie space, and I would also suggest that the more indie space is where most of the good games are going to be coming from, the recipe for success, as it's been in the last maybe 20 years, is dramatically shifting. So we still need to innovate. We need to control our costs because they have ballooned clearly over the last 5 years. Their costs are out of control. That's because they hire incompetent people. But this is where he drops the dime, saying we need to find where players are, which has been a question I've been having for the last 2 years. Where are players? We're playing good games that respect our time and energy, like Black Myth Wukong or Stellar Blade or some of the older games, not the new stuff, or Space Marine 2, if you want, that's where we are. What are they playing? I just told you. Where do we reach them? All of this will become clear in the coming years as our industry transforms. And this is the guy that thinks he knows how to direct Assassin's Creed, and those fans, when he can't even reach the broadest base of them, just Ubisoft fans in general of their games, he can't even find them. So yeah, good luck with that. You can see here, this is earlier what we talked about, where they're trying to change people, trying to change culture. This is a BlackRock, State Street Vanguard type thing. Says, what I think has driven Eves for 37 years now is the idea that video games can change the world, and you start changing the world by changing people. And if you give them something to think about, even while they're having fun, if they can learn something, then you can change one person, you can change the world. Now, that is true. And if you give a bunch of aspirational heroes like Ezio and Altair and Connor, or go to like a BioWare with Mass Effect, the Commander Shepards, those do make better people if you have them make good decisions. But something tells me the choices and the way they want to change things are different. Either way, he's correct. They don't know how to find the players. Almost all of their games are some level of fail or flop. I mean, Skull and Bones, which is their biggest disaster, well over like hundreds of millions of dollars, and they had an all-time peak of not even 3,000 people. Whew. I mean, that really is. In fact, we're learning that Skull and Bones is actually the largest disaster that they've covered up. This is the game that really set all their other games for failure, because they were all trying to make up the sunken money cost of this one right here. And then, of course, Prince of Persia, that one was horrible. It was a side scroller, so it was never going to be great. That peaked not even 1,500 players, and you know why. They did all the modern day things. And then, of course, we brought you multiple stories about Exify and how that continues to drop. I mean, hey, doing far better than anything Concord had, but still not doing good. Saying there's no plans to shut that down after Caesar 4, but you can see the amount of people playing it. It's just not there. Star Wars Outlaws obviously was a huge disaster that had so poor performance that it led to the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And of course, with Shadows, we've heard all the controversy under the sun, up to and including the fact that Yasuke was added specifically because of George Floyd and BLM, and there was a bunch of cringe rap and all the things that they're now spending 20 million euros to change. And of course, they're using that team, who some of them have never even worked on a professional video game, to do it. And that's where we are with Ubisoft. They are fooked. They are pretty clearly fooked. And I believe BioWare and EA is following right along with them. The gaming industry, just like the movie industry, is going to drastically contract. Drastically. You can't help it. It was big and bloated, and yeah, can't do it anymore. Sorry, they've ruined it. So let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.